Alright, Pick 'em Vegas and Beyond. Still going through these cards. Slowly but surely, I'm working my way through them. But anyway, let me continue on with the story about my old coach. Like I was saying, when I was like 14 years old, he creeped me the hell out because he screamed at me and accused me of fucking his daughter when I was 14 years old. And at the time, like I said, 14-year-old boy, I had never had sex. Honestly, at the time, I didn't even know what sex was because I was a jock. Yes, I played basketball, baseball, and football, but also I was a really good student, and I wasn't one of the ones. Actually, honestly, and I'm gonna sound like a loser now, but despite the fact that I was a jock, I was also a really good student. And at the time when he screamed at me, accusing me of fucking his daughter, I had never even had a girlfriend. I really had never even had any type of real interest in girls. I basically spent all my time either playing sports, trying to stay in shape to play sports, or doing my schoolwork. And then eventually I got into video games. And then I got into sports cards because I ended up buying a bunch of sports cards from a secondhand store for pretty much nothing, and had my uncle go pick them up and take them home. So anyway, like I said, I was a loser, a jock who was also a loser, I guess, because I didn't have a girlfriend, had never had a girlfriend, wasn't even interested in having a girlfriend at the time, because I was so focused on being a good player that having a girlfriend had never even crossed my mind. There were other kids on the team who had girlfriends and stuff like that, and basically I thought they were stupid because they spent all their time hanging out with their friends and with girls and stuff like that, and then they would come play and they would suck. But I would spend all my time like working out and basically preparing myself to play, and then I would come and I would be really good. But anyway, so when the coach yelled at me that day and accused me of doing that, I was caught by surprise. I ended up changing, like the way I thought of him completely changed right there on the spot. I automatically thought of him as a pedophile, and because I didn't think any adult would talk that way to a kid, so it automatically made me think that he was a pedophile. Long story short, one day, because the coach he worked at the high school and at the middle school, and he probably worked for the elementary school too, I don't know. All I know, I know for a fact he worked for the middle school and the high school. But anyway, one day at the middle school, he was yelling at the kids. He was making them run laps or something, because his thing was, especially with the younger kids, like middle school and stuff, he would bully them so bad it wasn't even funny. Because I remember how he treated me when I was in middle school for the little bit of time that I was in middle school, because like I said, I was a really good student, so I got skipped ahead. Anyway, one day at the middle school, he was going nuts on the kids, making them run laps. And the way he would make us run laps when I was in middle school, basically the way the school was set up was so that when you would have to run laps, the area where you would run those laps was huge, because they had this track set up. There wasn't like a normal size track. It was like, I don't know. It was like probably the track. The easiest way to describe it would be the track went all the way around the entire school. That's the easiest way to describe it. And when he would make the younger kids, like middle school kids, run laps, there were days where he would make the kids run until they would pass out. And he would yell at the kids, scream at the kids, and just treat them like absolute shit. He was the last person who should have been working around kids. But it's Texas, so what are you going to do? Anyway, one day, he starts that crap where he was screaming at the kids, making them run, until that day, multiple kids passed out because he wouldn't let them stop. He wouldn't even let them have a drink of water. He would just keep making them run until, like I said, multiple kids ended up passing out. I guess baby kitten or some type of cat had made its way onto the school grounds. That son of a bitch caught the cat and killed it right in front of the kids. And if you happen to see this, I don't even know if you're still alive anymore, but if you're him and you see this, for you to treat the kids the way you did, and I know I was one of those kids who, when I was in middle school, you treated like absolute shit, and then when I grew up and I was in high school, at 14 years old, you accused me of having sex with your daughter, but you didn't say it like that. When I was 14, you accused me of fucking your own daughter. And I still think you're a pedophile. And I think you're an absolute piece of shit for the way you treated all the kids. But anyway, I doubt he'll watch this. He probably isn't. He's probably not even alive anymore. But I don't think he should have ever been allowed to have the jobs that he had, because he was not in any way, shape, or form fit to be working with kids. Like I said, that day it went too far. Multiple kids ended up passing out because of his refusal to allow them to even get a drink of water, or to slow down, because that was his thing. If you were running laps, and these were middle school kids, they weren't even athletes, they were just regular gym students that he did this to, by the way. They weren't even the athletes, they were just the normal kids, the normal students who were in gym class, and he was making them run laps until they fucking passed out. And from what I remember, I think it was 4 or 5 of the kids ended up in the hospital because of that. And like I said, he killed a cat right in front of the kids. And he ended up getting fired, but one of the dads showed up at the school. I think it was the next day, one of the dads showed up at the high school, actually, when I was there, and beat the living crap out of him. I was right there. I saw the whole thing, and I thought that was the funniest thing I had ever seen, honestly, because that dad showed up and was like, "Who the hell do you think you are, treating my kid like this?" And, you know, just going off on him. And the coach, being the asshole that he was, just like, "I can do whatever I want, whenever I want, blah, blah, blah." He's like, "I want you to apologize to each and every one of those kids." And the coach is all, "And what the hell are you going to do if I don't?" He goes, "I'm going to beat the fuck out of you right now." He goes, "You ain't going to do shit." Next thing you know, boom, he's on the ground. And the dad is beating the hell out of him. And I'm just standing there laughing my ass off, because, like I said, at the time, I thought that was the funniest damn thing I had ever seen. Because he deserved it. And even at that age, I knew he deserved it. But, yeah, I don't know. Things were different back then. People were allowed to be in positions back then that they should have never been allowed in. And now that I'm getting older, I realize that the way things were, especially in the South back then, were wrong. And now here we are going through all the crap we're going through now, and I don't know. But, yeah. Bottom line is, that guy, I don't know whatever happened to him. I've heard multiple different stories. I heard he died of a heart attack. I heard a bunch of different things. But, like I said, I don't know for sure what happened to him. And I just hope he's not in a position where he's allowed around kids, because I don't think it's safe to have him around kids, because I still think that he is a pedophile because of the way he talked to me when I was 14 years old. And not only that, the way that I saw him acting around underage girls back then. And even as, like I said, even as a kid, I knew that was not right for a grown man to be looking at girls the way he was looking at them. Yeah. Basically, now I can, understand why he was looking at him the way he was, because he's a sick fuck. But I don't know. He would look like, for example, the cheerleaders. He would be looking at them like they were basically, now that I'm grown, I can compare it easier or really explain it easier, but back then I couldn't. Basically, the way he was looking at the teenage girls back then, like the cheerleaders, would be the way you would expect a horny man to look at a stripper. That is the easiest way I know to describe it. Basically, he was looking at these underage girls, cheerleaders, like he wanted to fuck them. And that's another reason I know that he's a pedophile. And like I said, I don't know what happened to him, but hopefully he is not allowed around kids.